Welcome back to the Pro Sports Podcasters on YouTube. My name is Corbert de Ronde. Most of you know me as Kobe, and today I've got one of the PSP Insiders with me. This is a friend of mine, Manny Barata, and he's been in the collectibles business, especially sports collectibles business, for quite some time. Although NFTs are new, he's been around since way before that. Like me, he was involved with collectible cards. I was more focused on the game side of things. He was actually more focused on sports. So he's going to bring us a unique perspective in comparison to hard product versus digital product. And we're going to talk a little bit today about the three key sports NFTs on the Dapper Labs platforms. We got UFC Strike, NBA Top Shot, and NFL All Day. And we're going to cover all three, but more importantly, we're going to talk about what's been going on all three marketplaces because they are interconnected, and it's something you need to understand even if you're only collecting one of those particular NFTs. Manny, how's it going?
Not bad. Kobe, you almost forgot about the fact that La Liga is coming on Dapper.
La Liga is coming, but we're going to leave that for now because it's not officially launched yet, but it is coming soon and it's going to play a role as well. But you'll understand when we talk about the three that are currently in flux, basically, about why this is particularly happening and why these marketplaces have been seeing a significant dip. We're going to cover UFC Strike first because it's not going to take us almost any time at all. UFC Strike had their initial Series 0 drop. They followed that up with the second half of the Series 0 drop. And since then, the only thing that's really happened is they launched the marketplace, and like everything else, the values were pretty much below expected value. And the only other thing that's happened as a result of that is they did the fandom giveaway of the Israel Adesanya moment where he wins the middleweight belt the first time off of Robert Whittaker, basically after the last title defense against Robert Whittaker again. What you had to do to win that moment was you had to spend net $500 on the marketplace, but with the values of NFTs being so low at that point, the only way to do it was to basically go on and buy a legendary or to stock up on doubles and triples of NFTs that were currently for sale. A number of people did it. I originally expected to be close to maybe 10,000 that would win that fandom moment. Because the marketplace came out so low, it was significantly lower than that. I think it ended up being something like, 2,000 or something. I did not go ahead and do that. One reason being, I sold a legendary, so in order to get net 500, I was going to have to buy a ridiculous number of NFTs. I don't think my hard drive had the space. And secondly, I assumed that the Israel Adesanya moment, once it was released, would come out less than $500 if I wanted it, and that's currently the case. I'm on the UFC Strike website right now, and we've got Israel Adesanya going for lowest ask, $305. So if I really want one, I can go ahead and buy it. I'm not going to do that now because I expect it to go lower over another period of time because currently nothing else is going on in the UFC marketplace. And this is a problem. One of the things that makes NFTs interesting and one of the things that keeps people invested is the utility attached to NFTs. And right now, as far as the UFC Strike marketplace goes, there has been no utility. They've done nothing yet when it comes to what these NFTs will actually do for you outside of being a collectible. And if that's the case, what are they equivalent of?
Essentially, nothing.
They're practically a hard product without being a hard product, right? If you were to go out and buy UFC collectible cardboard cards, you'd have essentially the same thing right now because these aren't doing anything outside of that. With no utility, the NFT value is significantly diminished. Now, they've promised something will be coming up soon, but until it does, that's about all you got going on with UFC Strike.
And Kobe, I think you moved on a little bit too quick there. The one thing I really want to talk about is that you and I both looked at this when this drop happened as being a windfall because we got lucky. We were part of that first group who UFC Strike, Dapper Labs had some issues.
Huge issues.
And essentially what they did was they said, hey, for every pack you're purchasing, we are going to give you another pack and we're going to give you your money back. Most amazing investment for someone getting into NFTs. Luck of the draw.
Basically, if you're part of the first drop, you got your initial collection free.
Right. Then we looked at the utility that they had first brought out, and they said, okay, if you're gonna help support us and you're gonna acquire these NFTs, we're going to give you this Adesanya that everyone is talking about. It was awesome that you and I both said, hey, look, to get this, you have to make a $500 investment.
Correct.
We're not going to do that because we're going to be able to acquire this at a significantly discounted rate. So right now, I could go and acquire this for $300 if I wanted to, as opposed to having spent $500 and still have $200 in my pocket.
Correct.
You brought up something and you inferred benefit. Who benefited from this? Well, Dapper Labs benefited from it. Great. Awesome. We need them to benefit from this because they need to have the capital to come up with the great products and all the great ideas that they're coming up with. And the early adopters, the first in, first out also. For example, I, unlike you, sold all of my NFTs from UFC Strike.
Yeah.
I capitalized on it and I said, all right, I'm going to take what comes in. If I really want to, I can get back in, and I believe I can get back in at a significantly reduced rate. That's who benefited from it the most. UFC has not yet established the utility, as you've brought up.
We don't know what they're going to do with these NFTs as far as the utility value.
And they've got to do something with the utility quick, because the longer they take, the more the investor, not the fan, the investor of NFTs in UFC is going to sit there and go, well, I've got my money essentially parked there. Not just parked, but it's losing value on a daily basis.
Right. That's the issue. And Manny's right. You could buy right back in at less money. 100%, because the values keep going down. Provided they do nothing, there's no additional value there, people are going to get frustrated, to get impatient, and sell off. The more people that sell off, the more the value dips. So if he does decide he wants to buy back in, he's always got that option to do so. I've got the full contender set. It's just going to sit there for now, and we'll see what happens. I'm a huge fan of mixed martial arts, so that's why I stuck with it, because as a fan, I like them anyways. It's nice to have the moments. But until they actually bring out some utility, I don't know where the value is going to be. But that's UFC Strike. Now, what we really want to look at next is the one they began with. I call it their guinea pig, and that's NBA Top Shot. And NBA Top Shot has had some serious ups and downs in its, whatever it is now, must be 14 months of existence.
Roughly, give or take, 14.
A little over a year.
A year and a half.
Right? So yeah, a little over a year. They've had some serious ups and downs. Some people got in at the most brutal time ever when the values were just skyrocketed, inflated. And now you've got people who are freaking out because the values have practically bottomed. But just this week, NBA Top Shot has done something in response to that so that they don't lose too many people on the platform. And what is it they've done?
So this is actually a pretty cool thing. A lot of the investors or collectors who, to your point, were paying $19.50 for an NFT pack started to realize that you would get a pack with anywhere between 3 or 4, depending on the pack that you were purchasing, NFTs. Those NFTs on the resale market on the low end had a value of, again, on the low end, $2 an NFT. So for example, if I just spent $50 on a pack
that came with, say, 4.
That came with, say, 4, and I happened to be one of the unlucky ones who got 4 commons at $2 a pop. You laugh, but this actually happened.
$8.
$8. Why? Because again, it's this whole thing of race to the bottom. People wanting to sell and recoup their money, not realizing the investment component of it. Hold it, not realizing the utility aspect of it. Again, NBA Top Shot's done a great job with utility. Amazing job. A lot of these $2, $3 moments have been used in challenges by the NBA, NBA Top Shot, to provide collectors with freebies, bonuses.
Yeah.
I.e., you hold a certain amount of NFTs with regards to players. There's a challenge for the players for, I don't know, I'm just going to throw this out randomly. Top 10 scorers for the night. You happen to have 9 of those 10. You acquire an NFT. The final one gives you 10. Once you've created your showcase, you're eligible to get one of the bonus challenges.
Whatever it may be.
Whatever it may be.
Free pack, special moment, whatever.
For an investor, that is great. That is phenomenal because I'm actually using the utility of my investment in these challenges to get what I need to get, which is the investment itself, a profit, something that I can get for free, and if I choose to, sell it.
Correct.
NBA Top Shot and Dapper Labs together, that partnership, have done an excellent job, in my opinion, with those. My only concern is that this whole not touching the marketplace, letting there be a race to the bottom, has essentially devalued their product. And there's nothing that they can do outside of doing what they're doing now, which is these burns. When they print quantities of 40 to 60,000 plus NFTs
of basic commons,
you can essentially flood the market. If the market is flooded with these basic commons, I can again go out and acquire whatever NFT I want, the basic common, to fill these challenges. It in and of itself has lowered the value of the challenge rewards as well. So what they're doing now is pretty cool. This coming week, they've got this pack release. And to be eligible to acquire or purchase these packs, you're only going to be able to do so with trade tickets. To acquire a trade ticket, you can go to the market, buy NFTs at, let's say, $2 a piece. Mm-hmm. Take those NFTs, trade them for trade tickets to be eligible to get this pack. What does that mean for you as the buyer? So you go out and you buy a whole bunch of $2 NFTs.
The cheapest ones you can find.
Cheapest ones you can find. To get 25 trade tickets, you have to trade in 25 NFTs. Costs you $50 if you're buying them at $2 a piece. So you become eligible for a pack. What they've done now is those 25 NFTs that you've traded in, poof, they're gone. They are burning them from existence. So now this 60,000 print run is going to be significantly less, in their hopes, increasing the value of those NFTs.
Which it does. It absolutely does. And this will be an ongoing thing, right? So what will happen is you'll have a balance effect where, let's say, a particular player, pick anyone, give me a name. Let's go OG Anunoby. How about this? There's a 60,000 plus common of his. People think it's worthless because there's so many others that are available. They start trading them in, and then Dapper Labs burns them. And at some point, let's say it balances out to where there's only just over 20,000 left. And suddenly that $2 OG Anunoby is $11. Now you want to keep them.
Again, I don't think that it's going to have that much of an impact on this drop, but eventually.
No, I'm saying eventually, over time.
Correct.
Right? So many get burnt this time. The next time they do this, more get burnt. Next time after that, more get burnt. And then eventually you reach a point where people look at it and go, I don't want to burn this guy. It's too valuable to burn. And that, in turn, will raise the marketplace. Now, I want to talk a little bit about why this has happened and why they've had to do this. A couple of primary factors that they themselves, Dapper Labs, did to themselves. First off, they went too big with the print counts, with the mint counts. Too big. Should never gone beyond 40,000. Really, it shouldn't have happened.
Even at 40,000, I think that is just an astronomical amount. And later on in our conversation, I'll make the connection to the physical hard print copies of sports cards.
Yeah. So that's the first issue. Second issue is because there are so many minted NFTs of each player, right? It's one thing to have a common of a player that you like that's minted to, let's say, even 30,000. You're like, I like this player. I cracked this pack. It's got a common in it, minted to 30,000. I'm a fan of this player. Right on. Until you punch up that player on the marketplace and realize that there's another 7 minted moments of that player that are significantly more interesting to you or key to basketball in general, that are available for maybe not much more. Then the moment that you just cracked becomes useless and really uncollectible to you. So that's the other mistake they made. Now, external factor, and although this does concern Dapper Labs, I wouldn't say it's a direct result of this, but when NBA Top Shot was the only game in town when that was their primary sports NFT, everyone that was interested in having an NFT collectible connected to something that they know very well was in on that platform. I joined NBA Top Shot shortly before NFL All Day launched because I just wanted to get a feel for the Dapper Labs platforms. And I know sports, so I thought, why not? I'm not that active on it now. Justin Williams, another member of the Pro Sports Podcasters, that's more his thing. But I gave it a go because it was the only one you could do. As soon as they started to release the others, so as soon as UFC Strike came out, NFL All Day Beta launched, and players, I guess you can call them players, collectors, started jumping on the additional platforms, you then had to decide which way was your wallet going to go. And when you have one product that has a maximum mint count of 10,000 and another product that has a maximum mint count of, at this particular
60
time,
plus.
60 plus, and the packs are the same price, it's pretty easy to see where your money's going to go. So they basically became their own competitor and killed their own market.
So timing is everything.
100%.
Timing is everything. And when you start to release packs, to your point, with 60,000 plus or one with 10,000 plus,
Series 3
in NBA Top Shot, or Series 1 All Day up to 10K, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize, hey, I'm going to go for the thing that has more perceived value because it's supply versus demand. There
at
are
the same
less
at the same cost.
at the same cost.
Right? The packs weren't any different in cost.
That's right.
You collect both, and Manny's hardcore. He's not going to bail out on either. So if there's a pack drop on Tuesday with NBA Top Shot, he's in. Then a pack drop on Wednesday with NFL All Day, Manny's there. They have another pack drop on Friday with NBA Top Shot.
I'm there.
Put me in the queue. Right? He's going to keep going. But that's Manny, right? He's a diehard sports fan, been a sports collector for as long as I've known him, and since before we ever met. So he's going to do that. But the average collector, the average person who's just getting in on these platforms is going to decide to themselves, well, let's say they got $100 this week they want to invest. They got to pick. Where's it going to go? Chances are it's going to go to whoever's got the lowest mint counts, the earlier series. And right now that's NFL All Day. So it's getting the lion's share.
And that's a question that I hear all the time, because people come to me and they realize, hey, I'm a big sports fan. I've been investing now in sports memorabilia, and now I've gotten into NFTs now for the last 14 to 16 months. And they ask me all the time, hey, I've got $50 to invest. I've got $100 to invest. Where should I put my money if I'm deciding to go specifically NBA or NFL or UFC? My response is simple. Go where the lowest print runs are. Invest your money there.
Yep.
Then they'll come to me and they'll say, well, what's the real difference? And the real difference is that exactly. It's print runs. You're in NBA Top Shot, Series 3, 60,000. You're in NFL All Day, Series 1, 10K. Again, it's not rocket science. And what's common sense to me isn't necessarily common sense to everyone, but I'm going to go with the rarity.
Correct.
And then again, people come to me and they say, hey, well, should I invest the $5 in an NFT that's printed to 10K? Should I choose the 9,000th and spend the $5, or should I choose the 150th and maybe spend 10? Again, based on the history and ultimate goal for things being burned, you're always going to want the one with a little bit of a lower print number in that print run.
Okay, so here's where Manny and I differ a little bit. And it's because our strategies are different. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted him on this video. Manny will always go after the lower serial number, and he'll pay up for it. He'll pay up a bit for the lower serial number. I'm different. I'm going quantity versus quality in this case. And the reason being is Manny will build a portfolio that he maybe eventually flip.
Sell the whole portfolio potentially.
So the more valuable the individual moment, the better. Now, that isn't necessarily the case for him at NBA Top Shot. He does a bit of both on that platform, and that's because he has a significant collection on NBA Top Shot. Now, for me with NFL All Day, I'm buying as many cheap moments as I can, because the way I'm looking at investing in this situation is eventually I may dump it. That's fine. But until then, I want to maximize my potential and challenges. And the way to do that is to pretty much have everything available, right? If there's a challenge and they say you're going to need these 12 NFTs and I already got them, that's just money in the bank for me. And if I happen to have an extra 15 of them in duplicates because I bought the cheapest one, dirt shit cereal possible, that's even more money for me because I'll end up dumping them at a profit on the marketplace during that challenge. Right. So that's my way of going about it. But the reason being is that we're two different types of investors. But I've had people ask me about, should I go for lower cereals? And I said, it depends on what your strategy is. And Manny's give you a good basis point as to what that strategy is all about.
Again, the whole point of this whole conversation isn't necessarily about the investment strategy behind it. It's just a quick little topic. One could spend a whole hour talking about the strategy of the investment if one is specifically an investor. Me, I'm not. I'm in it for investing, absolutely. But I'm doing it for the sheer love of collecting. I'm a collector. And I'm a sports fan. So there's a combination of everything involved. But absolutely, Kobe, you're right. You and I have two differing, not totally differing opinions and points of view, but there is a variation there. There's a variable.
Oh, if I crack a low serial number, trust me, I'm thrilled about it.
Why are you thrilled about it if you crack a low serial number?
Because I didn't have to pay up for it, right? I will not chase a low serial number, but I'll be happy if I got one because I know it'll be worth more down the line.
There you go. And
right?
it's the long-term, and I hesitate to use the term perceived value because right now it is a perceived value, but it's the long-term value of that lower number being more sought after.
Yeah.